gosh, it's been nearly 6 years here at QVC in my time shopping with you. I don't think I've ever sold a plant, a climbing vine, right? We don't see them very often. But for many of us, climbing vines are exactly what we're looking for problem solution. Now, this is your Star Jasmine live plant. Yes, it could be a climbing vine, but we're gonna show you lots of really interesting ways you can create interest and drama with this beautiful fragrant plant. Now you're going to get 3 for the $19.98. So if you're looking to fill a big space, grab a couple sets. They're under $20. This is the first day you're seeing them at $19.98. They should be about $29. It's one of the easiest ways to create drama, interest, and still have beautiful blooms. I want to talk a little bit about Cottage Farms, and joining me is Katie DeBow. She's part of the Cottage Farm team. But Katie has such a really interesting background because really you kind of grew up in the weeds, right? Like Katie's been around flowers her entire life. Your mother really taught you the love of gardening. You write articles. I mean, there's so many things that Katie's been involved in the world of horticulture that to lend your expertise to Cottage Farms.
Yes.
And that's really what I think is special about Cottage Farms. You have the experts, but then you help people like me that are still learning and growing, and it's gardening made easy or just low maintenance.
Oh God, both, because we call ourselves the grower's grower. And the reason we say that is because the pros buy from us. We go out in the summers. What I do is, I know it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. Look at gardens all around the world and see what the best plants are for you. Because you don't want just any plants, right? We want the best blooming, the most colorful, fragrant, but most importantly, low maintenance that you can grow like this Star Jasmine.
So we're gonna climb with this one. Okay, so what is the Star Jasmine?
Okay, so like you said, we do not bring a lot of vines, so not just us at Cottage Farms, but here on QVC. So when we bring you one, you know it's special. This is a super fragrant plant. You often smell it before you see it. And you said problem solver, so we have it here planted in a pot. You can absolutely do a container garden with this, and you put a trellis in it, maybe even you have an old tomato cage. You know, it doesn't have to be something fancy or expensive. Chicken wire, yes. You can put it alongside a fence. You have an area that you want to cover. Maybe you have a small little balcony that abuts with your neighbor.
Oh,
and you don't want to see that
idea.
neighbor, but you want to see this dense, screening vine.
Because putting up a wooden fence kind of sends a message, but putting up a beautiful trellis, right, putting up beautiful flowers just says, I love gardens, and I love flowers, and I love blooms, right? So you're keeping, but it does, right?
Keep the peace with this vine.
Right, like I think of the neighbor, they have like a curtain, and I'm like, oh, that says something.
Yeah,
this is beautiful. Okay, I didn't mean to.
Yes, no.
So you could do it in a pot on a deck or a patio if you don't necessarily have like a trellis on the wall, right?
Exactly.
Or something like that.
Yep, you could have it growing up a wall though. You could have it growing in a container and not even have it growing up. You could have it spilling over the edges of the container. I'll show you here how it comes.
Yeah.
Because this is a great example. One of the big questions that I get is, well, how do I make it grow up the vine? How do I make this vine climb and grow like so I'll turn it here so you can see it better. Look at this little arm. It's already reaching and growing. There is nothing that you need to do to make it climb. Of course, if you wanted to twist and turn, you can. But you could also plant this in a hanging basket. It would start to go down and it would do this curling, twirling thing. You can put it in a container.
Like right here.
You can even plant it. Yes, I love this hanging basket
Would
here.
this be about the size of one?
Exactly, yes.
Okay,
this is
so
one,
like you could plant one in a hanging basket or one in a container.
And because this is a robust, hardy vine that loves the heat, you will get pretty much this tall in one season. This is going to be a fast grower. It's already sprouting here. It's ready to grow. It is going to deliver for you in the first season.
Yeah, the college I went to had like all the vining, you know, plants that came up the walls. I mean, that took decades for that to happen, right?
No, we're not waiting for that here.
Yeah, this can happen immediately. So maybe you relocated, maybe you're taking out some old plants in your garden, maybe you downsized, you have a smaller patio that you're working with. Something like this is perfect. And how interesting and dramatic. So this is planted in the ground?
Yes. So that's the other thing that I love about this jasmine. The flowers are these tiny little pinwheel or star-shaped flowers. What I think they look cool as, you can see them here, what if you just planted them amongst your evergreen shrubs? Like you have boxwood, maybe you have cherry laurel. Beautiful evergreen foundation shrubs in your home, but they're just green. What about these as little twinkle lights? Plant them amongst those. Plant one at the base of each of them. They love full sun, so it's got to be a place where there's sun. They will climb and intertwine and create this twinkle light look throughout your shrub. So now you've got your evergreen shrub dotted with fragrance and white and just beauty.
Right, because the white adds so much light. I love that you called it like a twinkle light. So whether it is in a hanging plant, whether you want to do something like a trellis, or what about window boxes?
Beautiful.
Right, it would fill a window box beautifully. You're going to get 3 at a special sale price. They're under $20. You don't get quality, variety, breeds like this at just any store. You come to QVC. That's why when we do customer events and I get to chat with so many of you and I ask you, what do you love shopping for? It's garden and brands like Cottage Farms, because it makes it so easy. You know you're going to get beautiful results. This is where I got my start when I started gardening, when I moved here to Pennsylvania about 6 years ago and actually had a house and yard and space to do it. I started with Cottage Farms because I knew it would be easy, and I still continue to today. So grab these, they're $19.98. You get 3 of the jasmine. They're called the Star Jasmine, and it is a climbing vine. Now I would replant every year.
So
right,
these we consider these an annual because they're hardy down to about 20 degrees.
Okay.
So if you live in an area where it gets below that, like we in Pennsylvania, pot it in a container. You can pull it up close to the garage or in the garage, and you can overwinter it easily. But that's why we call it an annual, because it's going to be only hardy to that zone 8 or about 20 degrees.
What are you holding, Katie?
It's a little guide.
Yeah.
So every one of our plants comes with these guides. So if you are a beginner gardener, or if, I love to know, I just need to be reminded. So how deep do I plant these? What's the zone again? Are these full sun? These come with every one of our plants, and it's just like me in your pocket.
Add the fertilizer as well. It's a great way to get the best results, which we'll talk about too throughout our show. M94789 for our Star Jasmine. Whether you are growing volume like height in a trellis, right? A vining plant, hanging basket, beautiful, gorgeous in your window pots or window
boxes.
Boxes. Thank you. That's the word. Window pots.
Same thing. It's a pot for your plants.
Okay, it's about $6 and change. They also ship to you for free. We've got a lot of beautiful blooms in the show.
We do.
Hey, I want to let you know too, yes, it's our Home and Garden event, but we also have great fashion.